Alright, this daily chart of Apple. I got a really great update here. I'm going to talk about Apple, but I'm also going to talk about a powerful advantage in investing, and why you should listen to me, as I am a long-term Apple bull. But you know something? Apple has taught a powerful lesson here, and I'm going to go over this. But first of all, let me talk about Apple, and I'm going to talk about some other important points. The earnings. You know, one of the I had about 5 option plays in this, and the first one was the earnings play, which was over here, and the targets were 110, which were achieved. But I also had people, you know, when this was going up to even to this 105 105 area here, you know, there were people. Don't think everyone was bullish this stock. Now, by the way, this stock was trending properly at the time, and I then made an update on my second option play for people to join in, and if it breaks above 105.50, right? Because people were thinking that wasn't going to go any higher, and of course it did. I remember that, I'm telling you, this is true facts, right? My chart witness followers witnessed all this stuff, and so. And the targets were 110, and it was achieved right on this day here. People were thinking Apple's going to come down, go fill a gap, or people were negative, right? You don't think at 110 that people thought this would go higher, but the stock was still really good in my opinion, according to my system. And at one point I didn't listen to my system, but anyways, I'm going to get to that point. This is very important. I want to tell this story. This is really important with all the other great information I have to share with you. And so, as this was consolidating, I talked about a 109.50 breakout point, which was achieved on this day over here. Right at the end of the day, I remember this. And again, my targets were 115, and you know that was achieved. And then I talked about another option play, as I thought, you know what, I could see this hitting 118, 119. And you know what? So that was achieved. And the mistake I made was, and I saw some more, but this was pretty extended at the time. Unlike the other times, it was very different between this point, and even in the last point, there was a difference. But regardless of the case, you know, with the fundamentals of the stock's incredible, and the technicals were so strong, you know, you would never expect this disaster flash crash to occur. You know, and I was... Anyways, this was a lesson for, I guess, I'm pretty sure this hurt a lot of longs, but this is a true story. What I'm telling you about Apple here is a true story of what occurred, and I posted this all on the Apple stream, right? Because I don't post everything on StockTwits, right? I have a special chart followership. But for Apple, I do. But I believe stuff like this, this move here, this flash crash, baloney, whatever the reason was, shows you even a powerful company. This kind of move is one of the worst moves I've seen happen in a lot of stock ideas that I have. And my system would not allow for this to happen. But I didn't follow it 100%, my own system. And I'm going to explain that now. And I've also made updates on my stream about Apple, which they couldn't confirm, by the way. So let's go to another stock right now. I'm going to go back to Apple. But back in the day, you know, while Apple wasn't doing so good, you know, after that flash crash and everything, and you know, there were some trades, little short-term trades, but they didn't work very far. I instead also focused on great setups. And HSY, a stock that's doesn't have a lot of followership. Not a lot of people pay attention, but you know what? This was such an easy money maker, and it made large gains, just like you would have investing in Apple. And a lot more. If you would have focused, if you would have invested your time in this stock here and forget about Apple after the flash crash, wait for it to make a proper pattern, you'd be making all kinds of money. And I'm going to get back to Apple, people. But this was posted on the HSY board December 11th. You can see that. And it was based on this day here. But I have a plan here. You know, a lot of people post stuff. That's bullish stuff. But they have no facts, no reasons, no plans. I do this all the time. And, you know, if we go to HSY, the stock didn't just confirm that day. It took a few days. It pulled back. Once it confirmed, my plan fruitioned as we hit the targets, inside the targets of what I said, 106 to 108. But then as the market was pretty negative still, you know, Apple still couldn't go anywhere, I noticed how strong the stock was, and then also formed another pattern, in my opinion. And so I made another update, but this update I sent to my chart witness followers. So I mean, I'm making some nice money, you know, in HSY. I've done other ones as well, but I don't want to talk about too many things right now in this video. I'm talking about craft. I can show that one too. You know, I noticed the food stocks were really strong. So here's HSY. And I sent this to my chart witness followers, right? On January the 6th. See that day I was talking about? Just took the snapshot, sent this to my chart witness followers, and entered on 103.5 next day. It went up, and, you know, we a little bit, and I mean, this is up huge. This is a 350% gain winner for me over the month of between the month of December and currently January. And Apple, I haven't made hardly any money in options in that. A lot of people losing money in it, right? So even though I'm an Apple bull, part of my system is to always go where the power is, at the safe entry points. It's not just the visionary lines you see here. It's way more to it than that. Anyways, let's go back to my stream. Bud is another one I posted on January 12th, right before it made a nice move, and where the odds are in your favor to make money. I mean, it may not go anywhere. You know, plans don't always fruition, but the odds are in your favor that this sucker is going to go higher. And I wrote this plan. You know, no one does this on StockTwits. Nobody does this. You to get this kind of detailed information, you have to go to a paid service. And if they would, you know, to get the same thing, and I do this for free, to show my system and power on StockTwits. So follow people, great advice. And this is another one I sent to my followers, Craft, and you can take a look at Craft, and you know, Craft is still good, and I sent an update to that, but I'm not going to be talking about Craft too much. But if you look at the confirmation area, and all these stocks are making money, and the market's been horrible, by the way, people, especially in Apple. Let's go back to Apple. Yeah, EPO. Yeah, boy, sometimes the charts, they do these things. Okay. You know, Apple hasn't been able to confirm, and I made updates on my stream. So let's go to my stream here. I'm doing an open house. So these are some of my new picks. Every stock I make a plan. I don't just to say it's bullish. I explain why I look at it. I research the options. I put some time into this. So no one does anything like this on StockTwits. They just spit out numbers, you know, nothing. So check out these stocks, and you do that by simply, you know, you click on a link, and then you click on the chart, and it blows up, right? And you're gonna see my stream is more active than any other stream on StockTwits, with comments for reasons. You know, and my inbox is growing. You know, I've been answering emails, all, you know, talking all day with people on emails. You mind making this video, you know, emails. Anyways, the messages. So, you know, my last Apple update, and this is another stock I mentioned, CLDX. Check that one out. You can check that, find that on my stream. But my last Apple update here, you know, I have a plan, and I'm explaining. You know, you could press pause, but you should read this, you know, or even check it out on my stream. Because my point here is that Apple will be good when it reaches an proper inflection point. Most of the time, stocks chop, you know. You know, Apple was horrible, and I lost money trying to make money in this, not following my system again, until I waited for the real strong confirmation. So I mean, we're just talking about an option trade, but this was in a chop zone. September horrible, October horrible, and then boom. And you know, because people were going through the horrible times, and Visionary Alliance caught that, people were not so, you know, they weren't so trusting. But this was extremely bullish, and this was what I call a proper inflection point. And Apple, as you can see with my Visionary Alliance, has not hit the proper inflection point. But believe me when I tell you, when this hits the proper inflection points from my updates, like I tell you, you'll see this shine again. Or the odds, let me rephrase it. The odds should be in your favor then. But until then, guessing how far this goes down or how much this goes up, I mean, it can chop around and make both the bears and bulls lose money. Right? People were bearish the stock, right, over here. And it reversed. I mean, I took this as a long as well, by the way. But I had to get out of this because the action wasn't right. For small profits, you know. I gave away a lot of I made some nice profits, but I gave that away to take small profits because I was hoping for this to confirm, right? But it didn't. But instead, stuff like HSY that confirmed for me, and BUD that confirmed for me, and Kraft and Salua, they be making me nice money. And so, you know why? Because those companies don't have the stigma like Apple does. So, you know, this video is an eye-opener for the open-minded who want an edge. You know, and you want to follow me for great advice because, you know, everybody makes mistakes, even no matter how good you are. But my system doesn't make mistakes. If I had one of my system's main objectives is to get into stocks at their main entry point. And Apple had a few of them. This was a good one. This was a good one. So was this. But as we got into this area, it wasn't worthwhile anymore. And I was, honestly, on my fourth trade, I was right about the targets. I was seeing 118 to 119 area, and we achieved that. But then, boom. I mean, this here. I mean, this was bad for a lot of people. But I made a lot of winning option gains. So, but it still took some nice, you know, I took away some nice gains. I didn't sell this day, but it was scary to hold that. You know, I had to even break my rules, and that's another thing. You know, you don't want to do that. So, anyways, and only because this is Apple. But Apple was a major letdown, people. So don't get too carried away with your company. Care about your pocketbook is my message here. Special, powerful video that I'm making here. You know, that most pros would charge a fortune for to tell you this advice. So this is for the open-minded people. You know, I think I'm doing a good thing by sharing what I'm doing. Good things come, you know, to those who do the right thing. So follow me for great advice. And check out my stream, people. Become a Chart Witness follower. Open house this week. I have a great success rate, but you know what? We gotta follow the rules. You gotta buy the right price points. Never guess the market. No one has a crystal ball, so you always gotta wait for. You gotta trade the odds in your favor. Then you're more likely make money, make more than you lose. You can be right about 80% of the time. I find when I follow my rules. You know, I think I'm about 80% correct on all trigger trades. And what does that mean? That means if its stock hits a trigger, we're either going to make good money or make a small amount of money. And then of course the worst outcome is a small loss. But this was totally avoidable had I just been happy at taking all those profits at the 119 area and just stuck with the strong stuff like HSY and Kraft and a few others that I don't want to mention right now. No kind of BOD that I talked about. Thanks for listening. Like this super video.